What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's reaction video, and today's reaction is the very special monthly request of my brand new incredible Patreon follower, Scott. Scott, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for joining me on this crazy ride. It means so much to have you with us here in the herd and on the channel. And thank you so much for this request, because this is something that people have told me about for a while. I don't believe I've watched this, and if I have no memory of it, so I'm super excited to check this out. This was when Chris Rupp was either leaving or had just left Home Free, and Tim Foust gave a tribute to him, or I don't know if he sings, I don't know if he says something, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but at one of their concerts, it is a Tim Foust touching tribute to Chris Rupp. As always, guys, check out the original video link below, and we're going to get into this reaction. Also, check out Home Free's official channel and Chris Rupp's official channel and give them some support there. I'll link those in the description as well. Let's get into this reaction. This is Tim Foust touching tribute to Chris Rupp.
About 16 years ago in southern Minnesota, in St. Peter.
I had a feeling this was going to happen, so I wrote something down.
Oh my God.
I hope that's Prozac. What is that? I can't believe I'm even saying this, but...
What was that just then? Did someone throw a tablet or something on stage?
Oh my God.
Happened, so I wrote something down. I hope that's Prozac. What is...
I think someone must have taken a tablet down towards the front row, because he says, I hope that's Prozac, and Austin says, oh my God. So I'm guessing someone maybe took a tablet or something, but I didn't see it happen.
I can't believe I'm even saying this, but...
Suck it up.
Woo! I'll try to focus on the fact that we get to sing with him again tomorrow.
Those who are on Patreon, sorry.
I didn't anticipate this. I'm going to try to read this. Around the turn of the last century, a young man had a dream. Now, most young folks dream. Most young folks also choose the paths of least resistance, and dreams require quite the opposite. And so the majority of dreams either remain just that, or fade away entirely, or even worse, become what-ifs. And this particular dream was no ordinary dream. Of course, this was no ordinary man. That dream was home free, and that young man was Chris Rupp.
Tim is speaking absolute truth there. We touched on this a bit in my interview with Chris Rupp, and it blows my mind the amount of work and grinding and effort that Chris put in to get Home Free off the ground originally, and the amount of different things he's done since then. This man is always grinding, he's always working, he's always building, and he's just incredible.
And as we know, Chris has special talents that made the dream a possibility. But moreover, he had the willpower, the drive, and the tenacity to make the dream a reality.
Tim is literally in tears. Like, I knew he got choked up before, but to see actual tears on his face, I just want to hug him so badly.
Each one of those traits are very rare. All of those traits is virtually unheard of. Home Free became Chris's life, and that's what it required. Any less dedication to the smallest degree and home free wouldn't be in existence today. There were tough times for sure, years even. Stretches of time when Chris asked himself why he was still pouring everything he had into home free. It was because he loved it and he believed in it. And the truth is, even when things are good, this is a tough gig. And it took the better part of a decade for things to even become good.
Because that's what, like, you never really think about it and connect with it, because I'm a small YouTube channel, guys. I'm very small and very fresh. And already I'm sitting here going, the amount of work and dedication you have to put in, the grind that you have to put in to keep things going is bonkers. The idea that Chris was at a stage where he was not only not only creating music with Home Free, but probably working a full-time job at the same time, it must have been exhausting for him. And he would have done that for years, just trying to build them into something. And it's so impressive that he not only managed to have the perseverance to push through that, but to come out the other side and have made Home Free what it is, and then be doing his own stuff, and then the dance stuff, and then everything. Seventh Symphony, like everything he's done is mind-boggling.
During this time, a multitude of vocal groups came and went. Some of the top groups, whom we admired and inspired Home Free, stopped doing it, either altogether or certainly stopped doing it full time. But Home Free kept growing. Membership changed over time. One thing remained the same: Chris. And of course, his brother Adam, who he had dragged along on this crazy dream. Eventually they added a bartender named Rupp, a substitute teacher named Tim, and a cruise ship performer named Austin.
The idea that that could have been their lives. Their lives could have been, excuse me, Mr. Foust, and, Rob pouring drink after drink for people, and Austin just performing cruise ship gigs for the rest of his life and no one knowing who he is. It's bizarre to think of that this kind of talent could and does exist out in the world just completely anonymously. That you could get served by someone in a retail shop tomorrow who sings like an angel but doesn't have either the confidence or the perseverance or the drive to get themselves to any kind of a level where people would actually hear it. That's bonkers, man. That's nuts.
And something clicked. 12 years after the birth of Home Free, can you imagine? Just giving your heart and soul continually to something, and it takes 12 years for that to finally go the right way. Chris did. Shortly after this, we went on to sing off, and the rest, they say, is history. And of course, Chris has continued to be Home Free's life force, and I suspect that in a way, he always will be.
I can't handle the voice crack. You can literally hear the words that mean the most to Tim. The words that are in this speech that aren't there as jokes, aren't there as filler. This is the meat of what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to tell Chris. And you hear his voice crack on those lines, and it just gets you right in the heart.
And of course, Chris has continued to be Home Free's life force, and I suspect that in a way, he always will be. He's moving on to a new chapter, and he's certainly earned the right to do so. But what a legacy he leaves behind.
I'm going to put this out there. I came into Home Free once Chris had already left. You know this. I've only been reacting to them since March. So even though I see him in the old videos, it's The same thing for voice play with Earl or Jay Nunn or that they weren't necessarily my lineup when I first started watching, so it's not abnormal to me. And yet the hearing Tim say all this is getting me emotional, even though like because I've interviewed Chris Rupp. I know Chris, and I know that he's happy with everything he's doing, and I know that this decision in the long run for all people involved was a great one. They did the right thing, and yet just hearing Tim saying goodbye to a friend, more or less, goodbye to someone who is such an integral part of their group, it's brutal.
Thought I'd make it easier. And it's an ever-growing legacy. Think back to that young man 15 years ago. Talk about a butterfly effect. Consider for a moment the ramifications of that young man choosing the path of least resistance. Austin might still be a relatively unknown cruise ship performer.
Does Austin just hate it when they mention his cruise ship history or something? Because I feel like there's some sass from Austin right now of just like, you had to bring it up again.
Please do go on.
Am I still trying to be getting little shits to care about math? And Rob might still be serving drinks at other people's shows. And this is serious. Adam probably would have never even learned to beatbox. That's true. None of you would have ever heard the name Home Free, let alone any of this music. Now, just think about for a minute what Home Free means to each of you. To some of you, it may only mean a few smiles. But for many of you, I know for a fact it's something more than you realized a band could even mean to you. You've told us. For me, it means my job. Regardless, if you're here tonight, I'm sure you'll agree that at least to some extent, your life has been enriched by Home Free.
Guys, I've got to put it out there from my own experience. I 100% have to say that I truly don't think my channel's not much. We're growing at a crazy rate. Don't get me wrong. It's mind blowing to me. But I know in the greater scheme of YouTube, we have a long way to go, and I can't wait to go that distance. But the distance I've traveled already, it is not lost on me how much that has to do with Home Free. Some of my biggest reactions on my channel are Home Free ones. The Home Fries show up for the reactions and stick around and become herd members, and it means the world to me. But without these guys, without Chris, and without his drive, my channel, there's a reasonable chance my channel would have been a little bit of a splash and eventually fizzling out because it just didn't take off the way I thought it would. And that's bonkers to think of, that without those butterfly effects being in place, even people that these guys, like, other than Chris I've done an interview with, but yeah, the rest of them probably don't even really know I exist that much. But the fact that they've affected my life as much as they have is bonkers. And that's completely taking aside the effect their music has had on my life. That's just my channel, that my channel couldn't be here without them. the amount that I listen to this music outside of YouTube now is crazy. And it's just bonkers to think it could have never happened if not for Chris. What I'm trying to say there is that I am so appreciative of Home Free, and I so much appreciation for Chris, because yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be on YouTube here without him probably. So yeah.
And for that, we all owe a debt of gratitude to Chris Rupp.
I'm just put it out there as well. This has got to be so bittersweet for Chris, because like I know in my life, I've left jobs I've hated, absolutely hated, and still it's been a bittersweet experience for me, because I'm sad to lose the people who work there, the friends that I've made there, and the people that I care about. I know I'm moving on to a new stage of my life, and I won't see those people as much or at all. And that's a really bittersweet thing. For Chris, sure, he's going to still see the boys. I imagine they're all still friends, and they're all still tight, and they all still, get together. But especially with, Adam being his brother, obviously. But it would never be the same. And I feel like standing there on that stage, as Tim's saying all that, he knows it's never going to be the same. And at the time, he doesn't know how his own personal plans are really going to pan out. And that's scary. That's crazy scary for the guy. I can't imagine what's going through his head right now in terms of the bittersweet feeling of the excitement of something new, the anxiety around will it be as successful as I want it to be, and the sadness of leaving behind something that means this much to you. Because, like I said, I hated my job and I was still sad to see it go. Chris didn't hate this. He just wanted to find things that he was even more passionate about. He didn't hate Home Free at all. He definitely didn't hate performing. He didn't hate any of it. It's just crazy to think the emotions that must be going through this man.
This is the part of the show where I usually give a really nice speech, but I don't think I'm going to get through that, so I'm not going to do that. All I want to say is thank you to everybody. This is great, and it's been an honor and privilege. Thank you.
That was gorgeous. That was really, really beautiful. It's like I said, it's so hard to even understand what Chris would be going through, let alone what the rest of the guys will be going through. I cannot imagine the conversation that originally went by behind, like that happened behind closed doors. The original talk that he had to have to them of, guys, this is something I want to do, because there would have been so many questions around the whys and the, is something wrong, is it Home Free, is it the lifestyle, like what has prompted it. And you know that these boys, like you've seen their relationship, they're going to be supportive of each other, but it would have been a hard blow and a hard conversation. And working out what's next for Home Free, working out what's next for Chris, how do they go about that, how do they step into that, it would have been so much for them all to work out. And to see them at this point where they're saying their final goodbyes and stepping into those changes that they've made the decision to do is really intense. And I'm so glad that things have gone the way they have with them, that they're all happily making music. Home Free is doing as good, if not better, than they ever have. And yeah, the Chris is making incredible music, doing incredible things with his dance, and just, getting a chance to express himself in the way he wants to. That makes me so happy. This was an awesome, awesome video. Thank you so much for having me watch this, Aaron. It really means it's just beautiful to see them and to connect with them on such a human level. Thank you guys also so much for watching. As I said, check out the original video linked in the description, but also go to Chris Rupp's official page and Home Free's official page and subscribe to both of them. Check out some of their videos, give them some support. They all deserve it. I will see you all in the next reaction video. Oh, also leave a like and a comment on this video, and subscribe to me if you haven't already, because it helps out. And check me out over on Patreon, where I have loads and loads of different goodies and different tiers where you guys can get bonus reactions to TV shows, movies. I do weekly polls. There's a whole bunch of stuff over there. And in just a few days' time, we are having our next monthly live stream where I'll be doing 6 reactions all in one live stream, interacting with the chat, having a great time. So check that out. I will see you all in the next reaction video. Have a great day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time zone you're in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.